It's on fire up in here. Those Xbox Series X on fire. It's on fire up in here. Those Xbox Series are on fire. Fire. Bum, bum, bum. Fire. Those Xbox Series X are burning nonstop. They're on fire, y'all. Fire. Woo! They're smoking hot. Them Xbox Series X are on fire. On fire, on fire. I thought on fire would be a good thing. Xbox Series X consoles, when I first initially heard it, I'm like, darn, them pre-orders are smoking. Everybody wants an Xbox Series X console. What? They want an Xbox Series X console so much. They are burning hot nonstop. They are smoking. Fire. Xbox Series consoles are smoking. Oh, yeah. Them Xbox Series X's are smoking. Yeah. Them Xbox Series X consoles are smoking hot. Yeah. Let's get into it. Let's tap in and get in. A roast is in order for them Xbox Series X consoles. They are smoking. Them Xbox Series are fire. Okay, so there's a report out there that suggests that Xbox Series X are running hot. They're running hot. Now, a lot of journalists who got their hands on the Xbox Series X console are reporting that the console itself is hot. Now, no one's elaborating, well, what you mean by hot. Now, some of the journalists are saying when it's doing too much, then the console appears to, well, the console is hot. So that's what a lot of journalists are saying. Now there are some people out there that's trolling a little bit, and I'm trolling myself. I just trolled a little bit. It's just a comic skit, okay? You know, don't involve your emotions in this. This is just a joke. I was just joking about the console burning up. I'm burning up. Them consoles are on fire. Dun, 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 dun. The Xbox Series X consoles are burning. They burning through the roof. Them X consoles are putting a hole in the fabric. Okay, let's get serious. Xbox Series X console, shall we? All right. So a lot of who Microsoft shipped them these consoles are reporting heat issues. Now, I don't think it's to the extreme where it's like the red ring of death, or I don't think it's the extreme when where the console is gonna burn, it's gonna blow up, it's disintegrate in your living room or in your bedroom. But to be, in all seriousness, okay, okay, so all these people talk about ray tracing and 4K gaming and 60 frames. Now, I'm gonna remind you, these are console gamers, and this is what they want coming from their console. They want their consoles to perform like PCs. Console gamers, there's some console gamers out there that the PC hardware, PC specs, but they don't want to play on a PC platform or computer. Why? Because a lot of these console gamers are not that very good. All right, so they want They want everything a PC has to offer for a PC gamer. But they don't want to just buy a PC and you'll get all these options. You'll get the better ray tracing when you compare it to a console. You'll have more games playing 60 frames than a console. Hell, you'll have more games on a PC engine or a PC game. Well, I'm about to say PC console, but a computer. You'll have better performance on a computer than you will a console. So when I hear people on all these podcasts, on all these videos, talking about ray tracing, 4K, 8K, 60 frames, 120 frames, when they want the best of the best graphic card, but you're gaming on a console. A console is not meant for all that. There's a reason why people prefer consoles over PCs, and there's several reasons. One, people just are not patient enough to build their own PC or to have someone build their PC. People do not want to fork over a lot of money for a PC when you can just get a console. And people, we live in an instant mashed potato society where people just want it to do it straight out the box, right? They don't want to find this part and find that part, then you piece these two parts together, then you got to go online in order for this part. People, we live in an instant mashed potato society. People want it straight out the box, even though there's gaming PCs that you can buy that have all of these advantages that you want. A wish list for, if you're a console gamer, you have a wish list, and your wish list is you want all this stuff on a console. If you want all this stuff, why don't you just go ahead and get a PC, a gaming PC? Why complain being held back and you're playing on a console? And like I said earlier, a lot of people rather play on a console versus a gaming PC because there's better players on the gaming PC. That's why a lot of people, when they promote and talk about all these consoles having all of these features, some features that have been, PC gamers had these features a long time ago, and now console gamers want these features. The reason why, people miss the boat on why console gamers, why we even have consoles still to this day. Till this day, right? People seem to forget why consoles thrive. With all the advancement in technology and resources and the convenience of shopping, in 1990 and 1980, when you was building your PC, when you was building your gaming PC, I could understand the inconvenience of shipping, traveling from one store to another store, or if you wasn't knowledgeable enough to build your own gaming PC, how you would get someone else to do it for you, and it's inconvenient and it's expensive. I can understand if we was traveling back in the past, why in the 80s and in the 90s, why it could be an inconvenience for people that want to play, why they wouldn't play on a gaming PC versus a console. So hold on one second.
Hello, may I take your order?
Yes, can I get a chicken biscuit and a large sweet tea?
Chicken biscuit, large chicken?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Alrighty. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. There's a whole lot of tomfoolery going on over there. All right. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. They got the police out there. I guess the police is, they be having a whole lot of homeless people over there. Guess the police keeping them out of there. Got all that yellow tape. Thank you, ma'am. All right. I think there was like all that yellow tape make you think that they had a crime scene going on over there. But that's just the homelessness. Oh shit, they got a car back there. That's just somebody sleeping in that car. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. You got the police going. Okay, back to my debate. All right. So, yeah, I can understand if you was in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, how it can be an inconvenience for you to build your PC. Like, I don't know. It looked like a goddamn crime scene going on over there. I ain't gonna lie. So, I can understand that. How in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it can be like considered an inconvenience. And it'll be more cheaper, more convenient for you to get a console. But we're in 2020 where you can't utilize that excuse no more. You can't say, well, the reason why I don't want a game on PC because the inconvenience of finding parts and how expensive it is, no. I mean, you can get an average PC for gaming. You don't have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars. You don't have to have the best of the best. If you're trying to beat out the specs of an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5, you don't really have to spend that much money. So for people to use that analogy, the reason why I don't game on PC is because, it's expensive. Not in 2020, not when you can get, you can beat a console. I mean, you don't have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to, get the same or better specs or better performance versus a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X. Matter of fact, you could have gotten an Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, the hardware that's in that in those consoles, you could have gotten that years ago. Okay, you could have been already upgrading for even better performance. Okay, so you can't use that excuse no more in 2020, nor the excuse of, well, I don't, with gaming PC, you have to, you have to build, and I'm not that familiar, that knowledgeable enough for build, even though you got all these gaming podcasts, and their primary source of gaming is from a console. And they're so knowledgeable about ray tracing and graphic cards and 60 frames, and they know all this lingo and language, okay? They're knowledgeable about the games, the software, the service, the console itself. They're so knowledgeable about that, but they're not knowledgeable enough to build a PC? Okay. So, and two, you don't have to be that knowledgeable. You can there's plenty of reputable businesses and people out there that can build PCs for you. Yeah, you have to pay for it. Nobody's not going to do nothing for free. Okay? But you can get a reasonable gaming PC. You're gonna have to spend probably a little bit more money when you compare it to the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5, but you can upgrade it. And that's the difference between upgrading from a gaming PC versus a console. You can't upgrade from a console unless the manufacturer makes a slimmer version or a better version than the launch version. You have to wait. You're at the mercy at Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. When you game PC, you're at the mercy of yourself. Okay, but kind of getting off topic, let's get back into the initial topic of this the Xbox Series X overheating. Now, like I said in my video on my other channel, I don't, I think people are taking this story the wrong way. I think people thinking it's going to be like, oh, here we go again, another red ring of death. Oh my God, Microsoft already had a console with a failure rate, with a high failure rate. All right. So why would they why would they start this generation with a console that's going to possibly have a high failure rate because of it being overheated? I'm going to give Microsoft some slack here, right? And I don't think it's overheating to the point where it's going to melt your equipment inside the console. All right. I don't think it's going to overheat because, it was just built wrong. It was designed wrong. But my thing of it is, I think it runs hot, but I don't think it overheats. Just like any other device, any other console, you're never going to eliminate the console for as far as feeling heat or for having heat on the console. When you utilize it enough, eventually hey, look, they're going to run hot. And we're talking about now. Now a lot of people are probably going to say this, and I really don't have an excuse. And I don't think a lot of people are aware of this. But a lot of people are going to say, okay, well, holds up, Chris, holds up, all right? If it's heating on current gen technology, on current gen games, older games that were really designed for the Xbox One X, the OG Xbox, the Xbox SAD, if these games were primarily made and for those older consoles, and it's running hot on older games, then what the future holds when we start playing games that were meant for the Xbox Series X? It's supposed to be the most powerful console. And this is why I always tell people it's a laughable thing to thumb up the most powerful console. Through the test of time, just because you have the most powerful console doesn't necessarily mean it's going to result into better games. Or the console itself is going to perform better because it's more powerful. The PlayStation 3 was powerful than the Xbox 360. And how did that resonate with its sales in its first 2 years? The PlayStation 3 could play backward compatibility games. How did that resonate as far as sales years? Because the argument could have been made, well, and the PlayStation 3 didn't really have a PlayStation a lineup that was desirable. So Sony could have easily said, well, you can play your older games on the PlayStation 3. We have backwards compatibility. That's a feature. That's a useful feature. That didn't save the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3 had to eliminate backwards compatibility, a lot of things in that console to make it an affordable console so they can compete with the likes of, the 360. So there have been consoles throughout several spans of several generations where they've been powerful, but powerful really don't equate for as far as performance and the overall sales of the console. Now, back to what I was saying. So if the Xbox Series X is heating, that's, have heat issues when it's running regular games that were not meant for the design of the Xbox Series X, that was really meant for the older generation that we're in, the older generation, and they're having issues, of the console running hot. We'll just say the console running hot. I feel like when you say overheat, you make it sound like the console is burning up. The console is glowing red. The console is a ticking time bomb. So I don't want to say it overheats. Okay, so well, it burns up. All right, let's just say it overheats when it's have multiple tasks or at long periods of time, which every device, like my iPhones, if you continue to play video games on your iPhone or watch videos on your iPhone, you start feeling the heat of the iPhone. Okay, so I don't think consoles you're never going to see the day where consoles totally eliminate, when you touch it, you don't feel some type of heat coming off of the console or coming off of the device. But a lot of people that had the opportunity to play these consoles, that's what a lot of journalists are saying. Okay, is it true or not? I don't know. All right, I don't know. But to me, I think a lot of people, and a lot of people say debunk. Okay, well, that has been debunked. All right. And a lot of people say, well, the Microsoft had issued a statement saying, that's not true. Shit. Let me get this other guy. I forgot. And Microsoft issued a statement talking about, oh, that's not true. There's other people that have tested this console, and they said that's not true. That's not the case. That's not true. That's not the case. And it doesn't overheat. I do feel like the way how it's designed and the way how they designed as far as the fans go, you're going to feel heat coming off this console. All right, that's what I truly really feel, that you're going, because it's different. It's designed differently than the PlayStation 5, but it doesn't mean that the console is going to burn it's going to be like lava coming off the console, or the console is going to melt right before your eyes, or it's going to burn down your house. Okay, I don't think it's any of those issues, but I do feel like after periods of time with it, I'm not going to say long periods of time, I'm just going to say periods of time with it, when it's doing too much, it's going to and it's going to be similar to the PlayStation Pro. The way how they built the PlayStation Pro, when it would do a little bit too much or periods of time playing, you could be in your menu and then that jet engine will turn on. So I feel, and Sony has never indicated this, but I feel like the PlayStation Pro, there was a design in it to where when it just the least bit of it of heat that jet engine will blow. Okay. And I'm not no technical wizard, but that's what I feel like how they designed the PlayStation Pro. I feel like the Xbox Series X is similar to that component. When it's doing too much, it's the least bit of heat, those fans are going to blow, and those fans are not going to blow cold air; they're going to blow out hot air. All right, and cool air is going to come in. Okay, and it really depends on a lot of you guys. It really depends on where y'all going to have this console set. Okay, if you don't have a lot of ventilation in the area where you're going to set your console, you're going to have a lot of reports of people talking about how their console is making weird noises, or it's overheating fast. But a lot of people are smart enough to know that you have to have your console set in the right place. Okay, yeah, it's got to be well ventilated, and a lot of people are not going to have issues with the Xbox Series X or any console for that matter. But a lot of people are not going to have that same type of logic. Okay, so that's the only saving grace. If y'all want to call it an excuse, it can be an excuse to you guys. But to me, I feel like this is really not no big issue. Yeah, it's okay to joke about it and stuff like that. But as far as it, I don't think it's a scenario where the console is going to blow up right in front of you. Okay? I do not have no proof of my claim. Okay, but dealing with Microsoft is not, they already had one inferior console, and they don't want to have another one. And I feel like they built this console pretty good. Okay, but I do have concerns. If this console is burning up. I mean, if this console starts to get hot when it's playing current gen games, not even next gen games, that's a concern. Okay, that's a legit concern, and you really don't know what as far as about this console. No one really knows about this console until everyone gets an opportunity to try this console for themselves. All right, but I don't think we're going to have a situation where it's going to be like the 360. Okay, I do feel like it's burnt. I do feel like it's I do feel like we may have concerns as far as next gen gaming goes about if it's overworked on current software, then what it's going to do with the next gen software, and the next gen games. And as far as Microsoft go, I know people are going to get butt hurt over this, but there's really no next gen games that's going we won't really know the limitations or the performance of this console until like a year or 2 years down the road. Nobody really knows. Okay, and that's an unknown. I don't think it's a big unknown. I don't think people are, it's a huge unknown to the point where you shouldn't buy the Xbox Series X, but it's an unknown. We really don't know. Okay, and another thing, and it didn't come to my thought until I started thinking about it. If they make Halo Infinite an open world type of situation. How does this affect the Series X moving forward? If it's having issues, if it's having issues as far as it running hot, then imagine a big game like Halo Infinite. I mean, how is that going to work with Halo Infinite? Okay, if Halo Infinite still remains open world, which I feel like it's going to continue to be open world. All right, so yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think people are overreacting to this story, and no one really knows about the story itself until everyone is capable of getting this console and testing it out for themselves. No one really knows. I mean, everyone may have. All I have is concerns. I got two concerns. They're not major concerns, but they are concerns. And yeah, so that's all I got. Yeah, I trolled at the beginning of the video, but I was just being funny. But and then I talked about the initial topic about the hardware issues, okay? And I don't think they're really major issues. And I had two concerns, and I talked about my concerns. But okay, let's just say hypothetically there is a problem with the Xbox Series X. Oh, and another thing, if the Xbox Series X runs hot on current gen games, and we haven't even scratched the surface on next gen games, if the Xbox Series X is running a little hot, then what about the Xbox Series S? Are we going to still have those same concerns about the Xbox Series? And I remind people, the Xbox Series X is designed differently than the X. I think the Xbox Series X is designed overall to take care of issues such as overheating and things of that nature. I'm not too sure about the Xbox Series S. And if the X is running is hot when it's doing too much, or when it's just or when it's just running the game at a long pace. And I feel like that could be a ventilation issue on the part of the person that's playing with the console, and that might be on their bad. That's probably on their side, okay, more so than the console. But to me, I have real concerns. I only have two concerns. They're not real concerns about the Series X, but I really have a big concern about the Series S. Okay, how does this affect the Series S? All right, so yeah, I'm done with it. I just came on here to troll and just joke around. But then at the end of the day, I got serious. I got to the meat and potatoes of the argument. And I had one more point, and I forgot about it because I was in mid-sentence. I started talking about the Series S. But I done a video on my other channel, and I thought this was sort of laughable. This, I mean, when you think about it, I don't think I just think this is about nothing. But like I said, I have concerns. If it's I'm not saying it's struggling with the current games, but if it's running a little hot on the current gen games, then what about the next gen games? That's the only concern I have about the Series X. And Another concern, and this is for the Series S, if the Series X is running hot on current gen content, then what about the Series S? I think the Series X is built and designed to eliminate that, to totally eliminate it, or to if it's there, it's not going to be a huge issue. But with the Series S is designed differently from the X. So how it's going to affect the Series S? Okay, I have more concerns about the Series S than the Series X. Okay, if we want to keep it all the way a buck about this. Okay, so yeah, that's all I got, man. I mean, I was trolling in the beginning, but at the end of the day, I still think this is not going to be a huge problem for the Series X. I did do a video on my other channel, and I said that this is the same situation, the same song and dance. Remember when the PlayStation 4 came out and there was a viral video floating around that suggested that the PlayStation 4 burns on its side? Come to find out, somebody took a lighter and burnt the side of the PlayStation 4. And like I said in that video, people love misery. Okay. People get happy off of other people's miseries. All right. And I think that's why they forged that video. And they just wanted to see people upset. And thanks for the thumbs up. And people just want to see people just love to see people unhappy. All right. And I think that's what happened with the PlayStation 4 with that viral video. And turns out that video wasn't even true. And just people just love to have just see other people miserable about their purchase. Okay. And I feel like this is sort of like in line with the same situation that's going on with the Series X. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that is jealous of the fact that Microsoft has released a lot of great news concerning their company and their console. It seems that they were open and honest about their console. They sent their consoles out to all type of journalists, content providers at their own leisure. Okay, so they can test the console for themselves in their own environment, versus Sony, who did it in a closed environment and brought all those influencers to their studio, to Sony's studio, in a controlled environment. But truth be known, they did this with the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 3. Okay, so they've been pretty consistent on how they're going to promote their next gen console. They're going to do it under their fellowship, under their eyes, their watch, their control. All right. With Microsoft, they did it a different way. Either way, to me, doesn't make a hill of beans. All right. Still, at the end of the day, you still get to you still get to touch the console. You still get to test the console. You still get to play games on the console, and you still get to tear down the console. Okay. So yeah, I don't see this being either way, closed set or open set. You still get to test out the consoles. All right. Now, no one has tested out no one has took their equipment and probed into both consoles and tell y'all the strengths and weaknesses of it. From and in a closed set or an open environment, no one has done that. And I'm pretty sure if they did do that, and Microsoft allowed them to do that, that's going to be after the console has been out, and then they can go ahead and put that video on their channel. All right, then they can test the equipment and then go from there. Well, okay, when we test the specs of the console, this is what we found. Okay, but still at the end of the day, people were allowed to give their thoughts, their impressions of the console, and they had an opportunity to to have the console, either in a closed set or an open set. Okay, and either way is fine. Okay, and I feel like this incident is like the screw incident. Like everyone's making a big deal how it's an inconvenience to screw a stand from the bottom of the console or the side of the console, how that's an inconvenience. And that process literally takes you 20 seconds. Unscrewing it, positioning it, screwing it again. Okay. Uh, and a lot of people were trying to make it a valid argument. And I think a lot of people, it fell flat on a lot of people's faces. And I just don't, see the logic in, even talking about it. Okay. Just like, and, Microsoft did a video saying how easy it was to position their console top to bottom or its side. I think it's a comical video. And, they kind of, poking the bear a little bit, because remember, when the Xbox was trying to control gamers, how they trade games or share games with their friends or family, and they made it so difficult for the Xbox One, the DRM that they was trying to put and place on us. And Sony did a tongue-in-cheek video saying this is how you share games with your friends. And then they had two people there, and he handed the guy the disc and said, "Done." Okay, and that was even a funny video. Okay, but when you compare the two, we're talking about a stand that's not an inconvenience to no one. All right, it's not affecting you overall. Playing the console and experiencing the console with your friend. Thanks for the other thumbs up. With your friends or family, versus what Microsoft did this generation with Xbox One, what tried to do with Xbox One, which was make it difficult for you to share and play used games or share your games with your friends and family. They made that sort of kind of difficult. And the only reason why they didn't go through it was because of people like myself refusing to buy the console itself. And then I made a video saying, yeah, even though I think this is effed up, how Microsoft is going to try to do this moving forward with the DRMs and stuff, this stopped me from purchasing the Xbox One. But I made a statement on my video, if they change their ways, then I will buy a console. Now, did that mean I was going to permanently not buy an Xbox console? No, I was point blank fair. It's just it was going to delay me from purchasing the console, even if they would have continued with the DRMs and things like that. I wasn't going to buy it the first year, maybe not the second year, but if they would have continued on that on that path, I was going to eventually end up getting the console, but at a later date. All right. And, a lot of people were saying, well, Microsoft was making fun at Sony because Sony made fun at them with their with them. And I'm going like, wait a minute, the two don't jive together. The stand does not stop anyone from experiencing and playing with the PlayStation 5. The DRM and the way how you share games was going to pose a threat, a problem to people with the Xbox One. So those two things, they don't jive together. Okay. But, like I said earlier, people get enjoyments out of misery. Okay. Then it comes forth that Microsoft bought GameStop. That's what the running rumor mill was. Comes to find out it was a partnership with GameStop. And the funny thing about GameStop is, and it doesn't matter if your favorite console is Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft, everyone came to the same conclusion with GameStop. It's a dying breed. It's a dying company. Nobody uses or utilizes GameStop like that anymore. Now more than ever, you can stream these games through through a multitude of services, Steam, Epic, Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Now, EA. You can literally stream these games directly from the services, or you can buy them from the store, from the store, well, the online store, and Amazon, then Walmart and Best Buy. And last, at close to the bottom of the list, or at the bottom of the list, is GameStop. Okay, the only reason why people are going to GameStop now is to pre-order the console, and I feel like that's going to be a one-time purchase for GameStop. That's the only time GameStop is going to make any money off of any gamer. Okay, as soon as you get your console, you're done with GameStop. And these consoles are, for every console GameStop sales to the consumer base, that's one less consumer that's not going to come back to GameStop unless they have a warranty with GameStop, and maybe their console down the road, something acts up with their console where they have to take it in for repairs or replace it. But other than that, that's it. No one goes to GameStop to buy DLC, season pass, games when it's available everywhere. You can literally stay home and get the game that way. So, the GameStop thing, it wasn't a big deal to me. All right. The partnership, and it's the same type of partnership they had with the NFL. Microsoft had a partnership with the NFL. It's just a collaboration. That's it. It's a collab. Okay. It promotes Microsoft in a good light, and they're offering their Surface tablets, their technology, the infrastructure to GameStop, so GameStop can run a little bit better. Okay, so now they can communicate with other GameStops a little bit better, and communicate with the corporation a little bit better, because GameStop is still in 1980. Okay, this is 2020. GameStop is still in 1980 mode. Okay, and it helps GameStop business wise, but it's still not going to help GameStop with the overall bottom line of business. Is, are they going to survive this gen? That's what GameStop really needs to be worrying about. But all in all, it's a good deal. It's a great deal for GameStop. Good deal for Microsoft. Okay, but other than that, that's it. Now you will be able to buy Game Pass through GameStop, which you can just buy Game Pass directly from the console, or from your computer, or from your tablet, or from your smartphone. They made it that easy. So how many of those people that are interested in Game Pass are going to get Game Pass from GameStop when you can just get it from your device? Makes no sense. Okay. So, and to me, I like the Bethesda deal, them acquiring Bethesda. I think that's a better look for Microsoft than this partnership with GameStop. That's all I'm saying about that. So yeah, but other than that, I trolled a little bit, but I would just, I tease because I care. Okay, I just didn't think it was a big deal. So I'm up out of here. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate y'all viewing this. Y'all know that a lot of people don't catch my live streams until the rerun. I don't get a lot of people. I don't get a lot of traffic when I do live streams, and I think I'm gonna start telling you guys when I do a live stream. But a lot of my live streams are sporadic. They're not. I don't know 3 days from now that I'm gonna do a live stream. Okay, but I'm gonna consistently do more live streams. Check out the other content on my channel. I appreciate that. Oh, and this is not a gaming channel. All right. How many times I gotta keep saying it? It's not a gaming channel. All right. Yeah. I'm up out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. Deuces.